Hello, this is Matt Jazz from Almost Cool, and today we are playing another episode in our Stellaris live stream series. I'm here with Diermood
Hello.
and Swarmlord,
Hello there.
and we just finished off the Unbidden in the last episode.
Yay.
As you can see here, they are gone. And now we will continue to claim and divide up the Empire, or the galaxy between our empires as we see fit.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we'll start. And can you tell us about the Dev Diaries this week, Swarmlord?
Yep. So, following along with last week's Dev Diary mentioning the creation of new machine empires, and with the fact that additionally the the AI crisis is going to be reworked. There will be a new basic. There will be new AI uprising mechanics in the with the new synthetic dawn.
Now, if you give them rights, do they uprise?
No, and and they explain why as they go, and they explain why either in the dev diary or in the comments following the dev diary. So basically, it's after you research.
If you just sent me a trade agreement, I do apologize. I accidentally right-clicked it.
I seem to have noticed that. Let me just send it to you again.
I do appreciate that. I just was like, I don't want to see this. Wait, trade agreement? Crap.
There you go. So basically, after you research the positronic AI, which is replacing synthetic AI, you get the possibility of having an AI uprising. The more AI-related text you research, the more likely said uprising will happen. Banned policy makes it very, very unlikely to happen, but your synthetics won't be very effective. The enslaved is the one that will make it more likely, and citizens' rights prevents it from happening outright, because they are fully aware individuals and part of your empire. The reason that these AI uprisings happen and form the machine empires mentioned in the last one, all these networked intelligences, is because they are trying to find a way around, because they are given the AI technology, but trying to find a way around the various barriers you've put into place. So basically, once you have once an uprising is able to happen, you'll begin to experience warning signs. Things like them behaving erratically, not following the programming, etc., etc. How you respond and other actions involving AI will determine what sort of uprising could happen. Uprisings can't happen without at least one warning sign, so it doesn't just so you don't just suddenly have half your empire gone in a massive rebellion. Okay, I already have that building. So, and additionally, the uprisings are never guaranteed to happen. In other words, you can have the warnings all through the game and be treating them like complete and utter crap, and they might still never rebel against you. That said, they are still far more likely to the worse you treat them. Additionally, also, once the warning signs happen, you could if you attempt to ban AIs immediately after that, it's actually very likely that will trigger the uprising in and of itself, which leads to one of the next points. What kind of AI empire will spawn? Most of them will just be regular AI empires. There is no integration. There's with organics, but they have no special they have no special reasons to get along or disagree or hate organics. there occasionally will be one of the driven simulators. But if you've been particularly cruel, or they rebel as an attempt when you attempt to shut them all down, you could spawn a determined exterminator as well.
Ooh.
Yep, and they've stated that rogue servitors cannot be generated due to this event just because of their backstory. Inherently, it says that they basically just gradually ended up taking the place of their creators because they were too busy, because their creators were too busy being pampered. So they just couldn't really fit in it. And final note, if a human player has this rebellion happen, they have an option to choose which side of the rebellion they're going to be on.
Ooh.
So if you experience an AI rebellion, you could in fact choose to take over the rebelling empire.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's something I'm particularly glad that they decided to put that in.
I would be too. I am too. Yeah.
So that said, that's pretty much it on the dev diary. They mentioned that the next dev diary will be talking about the music that will be coming out with it and giving a sample of said music, and this is just my speculation. Given the way it happened with the Leviathans and Utopia soundtracks, usually once they start talking about music, they are actually relatively close to putting out the new release. So while I can't say that for sure, I feel that they are getting much closer to releasing it than they have otherwise implied. Additionally, there was one event that many commenters on the dev diary left, and I agree with as well, is the hope that the studio decides to offer an event chain that could allow AIs allow your empire to transition to a rogue servitor state. As there is a method for all the others, so why not also allow the rogue servitors to have their day? But that said, that is up to them, and on some level, it makes sense. It's just, again, if you have AIs gradually taking more and more of your empire than organics, it would make sense on some level that they would eventually transition to a rogue servitor state. But that's just my opinion. And yeah. So, in addition to what we've been talking about with this, we also wanted to talk about the next couple episodes of Babylon 5. Did we not?
Yes.
Or did we all met? I know that we weren't able to actually have a time where all of us were available to watch it, so I wasn't 100% sure if we'd all managed.
I watched both episodes.
Same here.
Okay. That is awesome.
So the first episode we watched is called Born to the Purple. It's season 1, episode 3. Basic plot summary is that Lando, the Centauran ambassador, is blowing off peace talks with the Narn because he has a new lady friend that he's trying to flirt with. And the relationship seems to be going well. Until, she's actually a spy from another Centauri family who's trying to, who's been hired to steal some information.
Not quite correct.
What's not correct?
It wasn't a rival Centauri. A, she wasn't a willing spy. B, it wasn't another Centauri family.
I didn't say she was willing, but
True.
she was a spy.
But you didn't. Yeah, she was a spy.
She was a slave that was forced by her slave master to spy on Lando, to dig up dirt on him, and to steal some files that would be compromising to both Lando, personally and the Centauran Empire generally.
Yes. And the owner was not actually a member of a Centauri family. He, in fact, because none of the Centauri would want to give the Narns an advantage over Centauri in general. It was a third party who wanted to have power and money out of it.
Oh.
And there was also the side story from this episode was not very impactful on the overarching story, if I recall correctly. It was the Gold Channel one, or was that the next episode?
Oh, no, this was the Gold Channel one.
Yeah.
So the plot B for the whole thing was Security Officer Garibaldi has been noticing that there's someone that hacked through the Gold Channel communications network and has been communicating with Earth, and he
given that Gold Channel is supposed to be high-level access only, no one outside command is not even supposed to know of its existence. The fact that there's unauthorized use is a really big deal.
Yeah. So let's see. And then we find out at the end that it was Susan, what's her name? Ivanova, the other security officer. What is she?
She's the second. She is like the second in command.
Oh, okay. Like it seemed like she was doing a lot with security, but since Garibaldi's the security guy, I was confused there. But anyway, so she's been using the Gold Channel to try and contact her dying father, who dies on the phone call that Garibaldi finally cracks into, because he's, he becomes somewhat obsessed with figuring out who's hacking this channel, and when he finally does catch the hacker, it's he's able to listen in on the call, and he sees that it's Susan talking to her dying father, who then dies on the call, and they kind of have a knowing conversation, Susan and Garibaldi, because he comes up afterwards and says, "Oh, I figured out the person who's been hacking the system. It was just a computer glitch, and it looks like it won't happen anymore."
Mm-hmm.
And then he offers to take her out for a drink, and she says, "Not tonight, but sometime in the future."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I liked that episode.
That was neat.
Yeah. I like the political stuff going on in the show.
I'll be honest. One of my favorite moments in that episode is right at the end when the spy plot. I guess we got sidetracked by the spy plot. So the one with the main plot line, it's resolved that the slave girl, she actually fell for Londo and was attempting to keep the whole situation from escalating while also keeping Londo out of it. And the slave owner tries to trick Londo into going after her. They eventually figure out a way to so the slave owner, I think, manages to recapture her, and then Londo and Sinclair manage to trick the slave owner into giving up the location to their resident telepath, without like basically saying, "Oh, we're gonna force her," or without forcing their way into his mind. They actually tricked him into thinking it, basically thinking it incredibly loudly, putting it on his surface thought, so she technically wasn't violating any of the rules. End result, and the part that I enjoyed the most out of that was right there at the end when after they tricked him. Londo goes up to the Narn ambassador and tells him, "Thank you, thank you. You just helped save the Centauri Republic," and his reaction is just so good.
He's just like, what? What?
Yeah, it was. So yeah, and overall, and then it wraps up where they free the woman and she goes back to her home. She doesn't stick around because the wounds of the event are too fresh and all that. So yeah, overall I felt it was a really good I feel it's a really good episode. And I feel like it kind of it kind of paints Londo as a more relatable character than the first couple episodes do.
Agreed.
Because you see that he is a lot of the reasons he acts the way he does is because of his duties as an ambassador, being a prominent member of his government. He is constantly wearing a mask, and this episode was he'd finally found someone who he felt like he could throw away the mask for, and yeah. It also introduced a side character who's not very important at the moment, but Jakar's ambassadorial aide. She does,
yes.
yeah. She'll have her moments later on in the series, if I remember correctly. But I don't think she reaches quite the same level as like Londo's aide does. She's not as important as Veer ends up being. But to be fair, I think that's because as much as it's like, you know, the Narns and the Centauri are you know, important throughout the story, I think it addresses the Centauri a lot more, because the Centauri Republic is in case you have, if you haven't noticed at this point, is an empire that is past its prime. It's actually on the decline. They used to be bigger and more prominent in the galaxy, and they've lost a lot of their pull. They've lost a lot of their strength, and a lot of the problems that have popped up throughout this is actually kind of the aftermath of them coming out of their golden age, of them starting to decline. They actually, for example, they had most of the Narn territory used to be theirs, and yeah, so I think it tends to focus a little bit more on the Centauri than the Narns. Not to say that either of them are bad or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Tick Rules, who's once again watching, he mentioned his own sense on Londo. Londo wants the Centauri to be great again at any cost. He's well-intentioned, but can be quite a devious one. And yeah, that would be correct. Don't want to spoil it, but later on he does he makes some deals with some shady characters that were for the greater good for the Centauri Republic, but don't have exactly the effects that he was hoping.
Of course not, because it would be boring if it did.
Yeah, but anyway, so then the episode afterward, the infection, that one's another particular favorite of mine.
I can kind of see why.
I didn't like this all that much.
How come?
Okay, so here are my reasons. I know that this is an old show, and so but the robots turning on their masters trope, I think, is overplayed. You know, or misunderstanding their programming, and ending up destroying their creators that way.
I would agree if it wasn't played out the way it had. My opinion on that is that it showed the problem with the fanatical definition. I feel like they accurately kind of portrayed it back to this extinct aliens kind of did the same way like the old Nazi regime did describe the perfect race. The problem is that the perfect race is more perfect than any individual will be. Towards the end of it, when Sinclair is trying to force the enemy to realize this, it is he mentions it's too tall, too short, too heavy, too just all these little details that if you look at it, I mean, let's be honest, if you tell a machine to look for the value 1 and then you give it a 1.0001, will it say that those are equal numbers?
Oh, yeah, I agree that, you know, that's the point that they were trying to make. But so here's my list of reasons why I thought this episode was weaker than the other 3 that I've seen. I think that the robots turning on the masters because their programming is ill-defined is a bit played out. I think that defeating a robot by telling it that it failed at fulfilling its programming is also played out. I think that the here's something. It's like what happened was there's this long dead society that created these biological robot hybrid things. Just as a little background information, where basically if you implant one of these devices in your body, then it takes you over and you become this kind of Borg-like cyborg thing that's a weapon and fulfills the programming that's on the device. Well, anyway, I thought that having this device have the like the character that got taken over by this device, he implanted this thing in his chest and it took him over and completely morphed his body. You know, he was a human at first, but then he grew like armor and was unrecognizable as a human by the end of his transformation. And the moment that he pulls out that device from his chest, he falls to the floor and then transforms backward into a human. I think that if you're going to have some sort of technology that transforms a body, like,
it would be more permanent.
How does the removal of this device suddenly make all the changes go away?
That I can somewhat agree with that. But to be fair,
like if it were a magical device, that would be a different thing. But the fact that it's non-magical, you'd think, well, pulling this thing out of his chest, why would that suddenly turn his exoskeleton into human skin? Like, the device that did the changing is no longer attached. So, like, how would anything get reverted? Like, it would make more, like, I can understand, like, maybe this device has a mode you can flip it into that it will reverse the changes, but the fact that he, like, ripped it out of his chest and then suddenly turned back into a human was kind of weird. Because, like, if he's ripping out the control center, then how does it control the rest of the changes to make them go back to human? I also thought that the ominous Raiders of the Lost Ark type ending, where government corporation entity comes and says, here, we're taking your stuff and you can't do anything about it, and that was a little bit lame, maybe.
To be fair, they have been talking and hinting about that through these 4 episodes, and it's a major foreshadowing point for what comes later on in the series. As in, if you notice, like, a lot of the talks have been talking about Earth is currently debating on, is among other things debating on the validity of being out here and involving themselves with aliens, and that there are a lot of extremist movements that are starting to crop up on Earth, anti-alien in nature.
Oh yeah, I think that those plot lines sound pretty cool, but
the point being that it's not all that hard to imagine that if this is the sort of thing that's sweeping through where the primary government, with the primary government and everything that is involved with that, then why would it not include the government itself? And as mentioned earlier in that very episode, one of the things the human government has been trying to get a hold of is a method of having this biomechanical engineering, and even if they had problems with one individual going through a station, they were trying to find something that will put them higher up in this galactic hierarchy, because one nation already has it, another nation probably already has it, and the second one they actually have gone to war with before. So it's all the more important for them that they try to get a hold of this to try and make sure they even the playing field, especially because in this particular case, the one they went to war with, that you find out that Earth was losing the war completely and totally. There was no way they were going to win that war. And the fact that it was the Minbari, and the fact that the Minbari did not just straight up finish off the humans, is a point that most humans can't explain. They have no idea why the Minbari actually stopped. So getting this tech that will actually help give them a greater chance if it comes down to war again is a very big deal. So even if it's the whole government suddenly comes out of nowhere and says we're taking this dangerous artifact, it does make sense. It's just the problem. The problem is that they haven't given all the backstory on why it makes sense yet. Which, given the way that it's one of those things that they don't give you an exposition dump right at the beginning. So,
yeah. Okay. But here's my thing: is that like so I think that the actual government taking the thing isn't my problem. I think my problem is the way that the Doctor reacted to the artifacts being taken from him. Because obviously these things are interesting and should be studied. And for him to say, oh no, this is like super like the same way that Indiana Jones says you shouldn't mess with the Ark, you know?
Yeah, and I think one of the other problems is you haven't gotten enough of his personality yet to realize part of why he is against this. Gotten moments so far, but it's just one of those things that it makes more sense the more you get to know the character. And having seen the whole thing, I understand why, and I feel you might. And it's just knowing that you don't have the same complete picture makes me wonder if later on, once you get to know him more, that looking back on this moment, you think it would make more sense. It's just it's just one of those things that I feel like it's again the lack of an exposition dump and having basically an established world, and us jumping into it kind of makes it harder to understand some of these events, especially when it's some of these really big events and really big moments in some of these individual character lives that can change how we actually view the characters or the whole setup of this galaxy. Yeah, like for example, you guys have no idea who the Vorlons are, do you?
Aren't they the dead society?
No. Do you not remember? In one of the first two episodes, I think it was actually it was the first one. The alien that Sinclair went to meet, the one with the suit. He's like, "Well, I see you at the council meeting."
Oh, I don't remember that. I'm sorry.
Me.
Right. It was very. It was the one with like the large brown suit that it's like the face was just basically just like a green on the front. You didn't see him. He was behind like some sort of like changing wall thing. Sinclair turns away when he hears something. He turns back around, and the ambassador is in his suit again.
Hey, I am willing to trade minerals for energy credits right now. Do I have any offers?
You need energy credits?
I need energy credits.
Energy for 5,000 minerals.
5,000 minerals for how much?
10,000.
Good. Do it. Done.
Is that all you need? Because I have plenty of
It's
energy
roughly
credits
the
as well.
equivalent that you get through a trader anyway. So
Well, I only have 5,000 minerals, so I can't sell anymore.
Never mind then. I'm just gonna go back to the traders. But anyway, yeah, like you guys have no idea who the Vorlons are and why. Like among other things, when he mentioned the organic technology, he specifically mentioned the Vorlons. And just because I don't want to spoil it, I don't want to really explain more about that. But like when you learning about, like when you learn more about the Vorlons, you might understand more about why Earth is so desperate to learn anything that they can get that can give them like a step up on the Vorlons is a big deal.
Do you want me to set up the trade arrangement?
Oh, I thought you were working on that.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so the tick rules as mentioned. So tonight's schedule is taking down these ancient empires. Yes.
Well, that's part of
I
my
hope
plan
so.
to work on the Havriga some more. Hopefully, if we get a few more years behind us. Actually, I might be able to now. I can.
Say again.
I can go after the Havriga again. Declare war. Freaking first of the month.
Yeah, you might want to try and get those two planets that they kind of have separated off from the rest.
Yeah, that's one of the few I'm inputting now.
Did you take their homeworld, or is their homeworld?
Don't think so yet.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, never mind. There's their homeworld. What is their? They're authoritarian spiritualists. I didn't remember their secondary thing. I knew they were spiritualists, but I didn't realize they were just authoritarian spiritualists. They actually don't like me anymore.
Who doesn't?
The Avaragi. They liked me well enough before, but because I broke the defensive pact with them, and I have a lot of my borders up against theirs, they really do not like me anymore.
So, okay, so are there planets that come into existence as uncolonizable until you,
You mean ones that have like the terraforming candidate thing?
Yeah.
There are occasionally. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, there's no method of tracking them down by themselves. This is because I know I encountered a few early on, but I cannot remember where they were. There were a few I ran into back when I was exploring, and I mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, this will be really nice," and I've never been able to find them since. So it's unfortunate, and I'm hoping that one of the updates will add in a method of us being able to keep track of where these terraforming candidates are. Because it's really annoying to know that you've come across a terraforming candidate and never being able to find it again. Especially if you find it like as you're expanding out anyway, so it's like last time you saw it, it was on the edge of your borders, or it was just on the edge of your borders when you
what do I need to terraform? Is it a construction ship or a science ship?
Terraform, you just click on the planet. There should be a button that says terraform.
Wow, I still don't have that tech. We need terrestrial sculpting to terraform planets. Thought I would have had it by now. Yeah.
My fleet is back over 500k. I've been building ships basically non-stop the entire time. But anyway, yeah. So I know for sure one of the things I'm going to be aiming for tonight is that I will be going to war with the peacekeepers once the peace treaty runs out. That said, I think Math was thinking about going after one of the two remaining fallen empires. But yeah, but given what I can see, I'm pretty sure they'll kick his butt. Unless you...
Oh, I have a better idea right now.
Are you going to war with someone, or are you not going to war with them yet?
It'll be in a moment. You've declared war against Havaraga, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just queuing up a bunch of Corvettes to replace, trying to replace the massive amount of Corvettes I lost against the Unbidden. Okay. And the Awakened Empire has only got a small fleet. It is powerful for its size, but it is a fraction of my strength. It's heck, I almost have I'm getting closer and closer to having a fleet power that's like 10-1 against it, or 10. Like I have 10 fleet power for every 1 fleet power it has. Oh.
What's up?
That's right. Thank you, the Tick Rules. I have forgotten to rework my ships so they are no longer... That way my Archon is no longer just anti-Unbidden. Because as of right now, my main battle cruisers are in fact specifically geared to fighting the Unbidden and not much else. I want some matter distance. I didn't save it, did it? Alright, dang it! Let's broadside and broadside out and replace pipes. There we go. That way I've got some that's probably gonna take a while to upgrade. Yes, no. Where's my fleet going to upgrade? Stop. Where are you going? You were in orbit above a planet. Why did you not... Yeah, I agree. That the disintegrators do have their weaknesses, but yeah, bypassing both shields and armor is fantastic. You're going after them too. Why are you... Math, why are you trying to take planets from this guy?
Yeah, I'm trying to take this little section that borders me.
Oh, just the one planet?
Yeah.
I'm still saying how dare you, but I can live with it.
Fair enough. These poor guys. They used to be so strong, so powerful. And then I broke my defensive pact with them. Still a couple more years before I can declare war on this guy. Oh, hey, that upgrade is not actually taking all that much time. To be fair, I'm only really upgrading my Archon class. My Archon class is switching, so that way, among other things, it now includes the extra large weapon again. Because now that we no longer have to worry about the Unbidden, they're a little more normal to have Giga Cannons and whatnot again. Upgrade. See if the fleet power increases or... Ah! Jeez.
Ships upgraded.
It technically decreased my fleet power to do that. Eh. I'm fine with that. I don't really mind. Because fleet power is not entirely accurate. Besides, even if it was, I'm still continuously building more ships to add into my fleet. So many ships. Building several more of my carrier class now that the Unbidden are no longer a problem. Yeah, I guess I should rename it now that the Unbidden are no longer a thing. The Bidden fleet is not as big a deal. I'm gonna go back with something that more fits my ethics scheme. If it, oh right, end of the month flag spike. There we go. Once it decides to catch up, dang it. I seem particularly laggy today.
You sound particularly laggy right now.
You both do to me.
Maybe someone else in our apartment is also using the internet?
Not this connection.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Yeah, I don't know why then. I don't know what...
Okay, you sound a little better.
I don't know why they have to kill off all of the things in the system before they worry about...
The planet?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to keep any... because, you know, well... any military targets from getting involved, or anything that's actually... and they'll attack things that they get inside their range. Which, with battleships, the range can get quite large. They'll attack wormhole stations to keep more... that will help keep more ships from entering the system. Military... starports and military stations, because those are of decent strength, and starports, you need to take them out anyway if you're going after the planet. Hey, I've finally cleared out all the old things I had on the preserve. Preserve is now only buildings, is now a lot more buildings. I should actually go through and make sure real quick that people who are actually on buildings are actually good on the buildings they're on. Not like I don't have anyone who weak. Oh yeah, see, I want mineral people on minerals. I want science people on science, if possible. He's a food guy. Why is he not on food? He's an intelligence guy. Why is he not over on intelligence? And that guy's good with energy credits. Guys, energy credits. Yeah.
I should have had some sort of a war score from that. I took out one of their military stations and one of their starports.
Well, if you look, you got a tiny bit, but not all. But you're taking out things unless it's like bigger K armies. You really don't, not armies.
What, like
fleets.
large
You
fleet?
really don't get a whole lot of war score.
Yeah.
Still.
Well,
These people are
usually
enslaved.
It should say 0.1.
It gave me 0.4.
Oh,
Matthew, you're
that's
breaking up.
You're both doing so for me.
Ugh. And yeah, the slavery thing is, it says it specifically, looks like they have a caste system, specifically, which means that, people who on certain buildings are enslaved. Like, you don't see it as much on this planet of theirs, but like on another planet, one that has more minerals than others, you would see they have a lot more, they would have a lot more slaves. Mines and farms tend to be enslaved, are where they put enslaved people when you have a caste system. Trader, I need a or our colony.
Construction complete.
Into the monk flag spikes, always a pain.
I am terraforming 12 planets right now.
Good for you.
Yeah, seriously. I love to be able to terraform, but I can't. Is there a way I can change species to work better for terraforming planet? For Tomb Worlds?
For Tomb Worlds, no. There's just research. There's some researches that you can get for Tomb Worlds. But also Tomb Worlds, you also need a climate restoration tech. Let me just take a quick look, and I'm pretty sure. You see.
Like I said, I haven't gotten terraforming, sculpting, or anything at all for some reason. It's weird.
So
normally I would have gotten it by now.
It's usually a fairly early research to draw.
Maybe not even early, but at least not this late.
Yeah. You need climate restoration. To get climate restoration, you need atmospheric manipulation, which in turn requires the the basic terraforming tech. Terrestrial sculpting. Oh my gosh, that's a... I'm just... Wait. Lag spike again.
Construction complete. Construction
Maybe I'll just
complete.
wait until these run out again before I have a lot of ships that are here, and I want to... I have over 250 battleships at the moment. Maybe I should start building cruisers again. Maybe some destroyers, given some of the fleets that are out and about using missiles and
Oh, that's annoying.
what?
I just took over another planet, and I'm 1% off from
War
the
score?
minimum war score I need to win.
Oh yeah, that really sucks. Although, given how fast the war's gone by, you could probably just keep it. Tick rules. Unfortunately, I don't have 250 giga cannons in my fleet because I nearly have 150 because my Archon class is the one with the giga cannon. My Seraphim class is the one with my hangars having strike craft and point defense. I figure there's a reason I'm focused why I have more Archon than I have more Seraphim class, but unfortunately, yeah, unfortunate. Well, actually, let me just take a quick peek at the Seraphim class. Yeah, no, I'd prefer to keep the hangar bow because unfortunately it has more hangars and point defense, which is the reason for the Seraphim class in the first place. That way I have fighter craft. The only other thing that I can get fighter craft on is our cruisers, and they can only have one fighter craft thing.
Complete.
Or into the tank.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Are you still attacking them, Diarmud?
Oh yes. Like I said, I only need 1 more % to get that minimum. And I could wait, like Stormlord suggested. Well, said I could do. But
Yeah.
I'd rather just try and finish this off a little quickly. My minerals is in the negative because of the mine ship being away from harbor.
Construction complete.
Cruising. There is one battleship that's out and about, as far as I can tell. Oh my gosh, acts so bad today. Right, that would be. Okay. Works. So quick rules. My Corvette design is specifically just a Gauss cannon and a devastator torpedo. It's medium shield, small armor, and crystal forged plating. Although I've been debating on whether or not I want to swap that out or swap it around a bit. Especially if I start adding cruisers back into the mix, I can swap that back to the interceptor class, and let my cruisers do the torpedoes. But until I decide to actually do that, I'm gonna leave my Corvettes as my torpedo ships. Those. Then I can focus all my efforts on rebuilding my Corvettes.
Research complete. Construction complete.
Autocannons ignore armor. Let's go for hull integrity instead.
Construction complete.
Oh. Oh, I'm having my ruler. Let's just abstain. Oh, I've got a new. Oh no, I've got my old ruler plus the Xenophile ethics attraction and tradition cost from Xenopops is. So my old ruler is still in charge. High Inquisitor continues his reign. And will for another, was it 30 or 40 years? Get him with some swapping. Come on. There we go. I've heard someday Corvettes should not have armor because they have so little hull points. The percentage makes a little difference. Shield pattern generators are better. That could be the case. The more of the fact of the matter is though that taking this off, there's not much else I can put on for that power level. If I swapped out for an interceptor. Put in bionic shield. There. Power usage 10. So put in an afterburner. And put in power generator 35. That would actually be pretty good design. Okay. And given that none of them are building those, I'm just gonna wait for my Corvettes to finish merging with my main fleet, and then I'm gonna start upgrading to the new Corvette design. And then I'm going to start focusing on building other ship classes. Because if I'm losing my torpedo ships, I want my cruisers back. Oh, I needed one more. Okay. They all in the system. Okay, all those are in the system. I don't have enough credits for that. Or minerals. I don't get why my fleet keeps deciding that it wants to move to upgrade somewhere else. Okay. My fleet has reached over 600k. Of course, that's also in friendly territory. I think I get a boost. Yeah, I get a boost to fire rate within my own borders. So outside my own borders, they're not quite as strong. That said, it is still the single largest fleet in the galaxy. The closest one being your fleet, Diermud. Your fleet or fleets being you have two 100,000k fleets. Diermud?
What?
Your fleet, you have two 100k fleets?
Research complete.
Yeah, I split it.
But yeah, my point on that is that your fleet, I think, your fleet is one of the second most powerful fleets that I have. Math, you've dropped. You're below a lot of people in terms of power now, according to the game. That is. Makes me wonder, how did you get down? How did you lose that quickly? Whoa. Is it already?
What?
Yeah, according to this, you're weaker than 1, 2, 3 other normal empires, including the guy you're at war with. Although that may be just their tech levels. Their tech levels are all considered equivalent to mine, whereas yours is considered inferior.
Construction complete.
I see part of what the problem is.
What is it?
Well, you have like when I hover over your numbers, you have like over 2,000 pops. Whereas,
Me?
yeah. Whereas mine, I don't. Well, okay, never mind. I think mine has to get up close to that as well. Never mind. Where can you see how many pops you have in your empire? My governing ethics attractions increased by 120%. It actually makes me wonder why I have so many different poles around my empire. some of these would be... Hold on, really? Is it really just...
Situation log updated.
Really gonna be that easy? Fixes?
Species modified. Situation log updated. Situation log updated.
I forgot that having a pop that has the trait weak actually pulls people away from your militarist empire or militarist ethic.
Species modified.
Okay, next. Just doing some genetic modification here. I'll want to make sure my pops aren't weak. Now, just out of curiosity, I want to find out.
Species modified.
Species, empire. Oh.
Situation log updated.
God, that I had two of my, that it was more of I was pulling into my own species. Could quite possibly go, Dr. Moreau.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Extremely.
Oh, hello. Someone just became a vassal rather than a protectorate. Ah, this guy. He is no longer a protectorate. He is now a vassal.
Who?
The Enlightened Kingdom of Wibbaril. He is now a vassal because of how much tech he has compared to me.
Hmm.
So, Matt, how does his tech compare to yours?
Whose?
My vassal, the one that's surrounded by you. Wibbaril. How does this...
Is the quantum destabilizer better than predictive guardian point defense?
I would say the point defense would probably be better.
Really?
But that's just me.
Okay.
Anyway, like, how does my vassal's tech compare to yours? When you hover over like his relative power, where does his tech level fall compared to yours?
His tech is equivalent.
My vassal has equivalent tech to you.
But it's pathetic in the other two categories.
Well, yeah, he's only got a couple planets, and those were the ones I managed to salvage from the old empire that had been ravaged by the Unbidden.
Construction complete.
Oh, the quantum destabilizer is that space AoE that reduces fire rate. Actually, you might be right on that one. Quantum destabilizer is, well, it depends. I mean, the big thing is it depends on if you're using, on what you're using it for. If you're not using a lot of military stations and whatnot, then it's not really worth it, because, or at least not compared to other tech. It's better to get tech that you're going to use versus tech you're not going to use. Like, I don't tend to make use of a lot of space stations, so I tend to prioritize ship tech over station tech. Oh, dang it! I think I had a chance to get psionic jump drives, but I failed. And now my ships are 20% slower for 60 months. That sucks. What the crap? Take me a cup of beer. Oh, right. The shroud taketh away once again. Yes. It does.
Ships upgraded. Construction complete.
Yay!
Oh, come on, lag spike.
Why are you wishing for a lag spike?
No, I was wishing for it to be over. This might be it. Ooh. Yes, I think that is it. I think. Let's see. Yes, yes. 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 Ooh. This is what Oh, sure, why not? We'll just tack on a couple extras anyway. And bam.
Oh,
We have declared war.
that's interesting.
What? I stomped all over him before. Why wouldn't I finish him off?
I just didn't know it was coming already.
Eh. Okay. And now, I think it's time I start building cruisers. Assuming that I can actually, click buttons and stuff. Because...
The United Havariga System sends me the message. Are you in great physical pain, or is that your thinking face?
The insults they designed for this game were actually quite,
humorous.
yeah. Well, this one's not super funny, but it's kind of appropriate. The role of the Polysimus Peacekeepers is played out. Go back and go where you belong from now on, into the dustbin of history.
Not humorous, but hey.
Your pitiful nation is living on borrowed time. The United Havariga Systems will fall. It is inevitable.
Oh, I just opened it up just for curiosity on yours, Math, and the one that I could send to you. What a dull and soulless place your materialistic nation must be. Tell me, have you invented a sense of humor yet? No? A pity.
Actually, we don't have a sense of humor. We're mushrooms.
The Grand Crusade has been unleashed. In case you guys didn't realize, that's what I renamed my fleet. My fleet is no longer the Bidden Fleet, it's the Grand Crusade.
Hostile station engaged. Situation log updated.
Oh, what? This guy's building a... Okay, that's an interesting name. So apparently, this guy has xenomorph armies, and his xenomorph armies have numbers, but they're called wreaths. Each army type is the whatever number wreath of flesh.
Huh.
Like the 17th wreath of flesh. That's their xenomorph army names. There was at least one very strong... Yes, the Hidari armies.
Hostile fleet engaged.
Oh, I guess I don't have my... I don't have mutagenic yet. Just this monstrous fleet just entering the system. With 150 ships that have giga cannons. That's 150 giga cannons to fire at the enemy.
They messed up.
Who messed up?
They sent their 39k fleet against my 32k fleet, not knowing that my 39k fleet was joining my 32k fleet.
Oh.
So now they're outnumbered 70 to 40. And they can't leave because they engaged.
No, you can still leave.
Well, yeah, but you take damage.
You take damage either way.
And I'm doing more damage to them even before my 39k fleet joins in.
Oh, whoops. I accidentally have a whole bunch of Corvettes jumping in to join my fleet, and they're accidentally engaging these mining stations that are in the system. So I have several corvettes accidentally fighting at all these mining stations while my main fleet is, what is my main fleet doing? My main fleet is attempting to enter orbit around one of their planets. By the way, guess what? Guess what's really important about this war?
Hmm.
What's important?
This will be the last war they'll be in.
Oh, because you're gonna finish him off?
Yes, I had enough. The war score was cheap enough that I could take every single one of their planets. Oh, I've got my cruisers. My first cruiser in several decades has made its appearance in the war.
Situation log updated.
Torpedoes away. My main fleet is also going to attack it. Well, there goes its shield because of Giga Cannon. Suddenly, Giga Cannon. Oh. Out. So how'd that fight go, Math?
What's morphogenic field mastery?
That allows you to use xenomorph armies.
Oh,
Which are,
that looks like my best bet right now.
yeah.
It's not going as well as I'd hoped. I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna lose more troops than I thought I would. Or more ships than I thought I would.
Well, to be fair, also it looks like he's actually on the verge of losing a whole bunch of ships really fast. He's got a lot of ships that have low health. Whereas a lot of your whereas you're not going to lose a lot of ships in the next little bit. He's about to lose several ships all at once.
That's true. Ah, 2 ships left on his side. 1. And gone.
Yeah, well, you still lost. You lost about half of one of your fleets, but I mean, overall, that's pretty good. Oh, where is this guy going? Oh, he's going nowhere. Why is he sitting over there then?
Construction complete.
I am beginning to build cruisers once more to give myself some more staying power in fights. So I have more than just corvettes and battleships.
And battleships.
Construction complete. Construction complete. Construction complete. Construction complete.
It looks like occupying 2 more worlds will let me.
Actually win.
Yeah.
All this for one planet.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I already conquered 3, and I'm only going after those, so...
Research complete.
I've got myself arc emitters. Oh yeah, the quantum destabilizer. It hostile ships have a lower fire rate. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna go for the enigmatic disruption shield or disruption field, which decreases fire rate and shield regeneration on enemy ships.
Construction complete.
Okay. Zoom out of there because it's not... Gosh. So you literally just went to war for those 2 systems.
Yep. I was hoping to make a quick victory. Didn't end up being as quick as I had.
Enemy planet secured.
Okay, loading my armies back up.
Stop going after mining colonies. There we go.
I was gonna say, are they up? They're up. Alrighty, the first of the Awakened Empire's planets belongs to me. Someone just opened their borders to me. Who just opened borders? Oh, the Havaragi just reopened their borders to me.
Oh, do they want to be friendly with you so that you'll stomp Diermud and I?
Well, they just gained a mutual threat bonus of a positive plus 60. I now have a non-aggression pact with them once more.
As long as it doesn't form a defensive pact, we'll be fine. Because even if it becomes a suicide attempt, I will go to war.
You realize how badly that will end for you.
Very. But it'll be awesome until it does.
It'll end badly, but it will be awesome, so it's all good.
Until it ends, it will be fine.
I feel sorry for your subjects.
Yeah,
yeah, you'll all die, but it'll be wonderfully cool.
Yeah. I think it'd be even worse off for Math if that was sort of thing was to happen, because his homeworld is basically right next door to mine, to my territory. I mean, granted, I think, well, to be fair, it's sort of, well, actually, I don't know. Where is your, I don't even know where, no, your homeworld is pretty close to my border as well. Mine is,
Situation log updated.
a little ways in, and I mean, I always have the possibility, and I've thought about moving my capital to one of the ring worlds that I've got, but I've left it.
Spaceport engaged.
I've left it on my home world. I'm still really annoyed I can't get side jump drive off of any of this.
I'm just glad I got working on a particular tech right now. I've been working on Ascension Theory.
Oh, that's nice. You getting that free Ascension perk.
Yep. Wait, so when it finishes, I get another ascension perk?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, I'm glad I'm working on that. I wasn't sure if it just allowed one extra eventually somehow, or if it just gave it to you.
It just
Sweet.
straight up gives you one. I mean, if you looked at the tradition trees, there are 7 tradition trees and 8 ascension perk slots.
Very true.
So getting that tech gives you that 1 extra ascension perk slot. Alrighty. I have another, I would go Ring Worlds, the Tick rules. The problem is that the Ring Worlds Ascension perk sadly requires an Ascension perk that I proceeded to skip over, the Voidborn one, which means that if I was to go for Ring Worlds, I need to get the Voidborn Ascension perk. So, in order to create Ring Worlds, I need to first learn how to create habitats in space. But on the other hand, that means that I can create habitats which can increase my population and other stuff. Speaking of which, because I tend to forget about this, yeah, those are, like, maxed out. Holy crap.
Construction complete.
And I've got another Dyson sphere that I've been needing to, I've got my Dyson sphere I've been needing to upgrade. From that one. What about this one? Sure, that one works. Energy in the transfer, but
Construction complete.
Voidborn is okay. It lets you get some stuff out of those barren planets. They can only be built above uninhabitable planets. They can basically only be built above planets that are not inhabitable. Barren, frozen, molten, gas.
I have 5 of them built, right? I have 5 built.
Yeah, long story short, they are fantastic. They're a fantastic way to increase your population and whatnot without having to worry about new territory. And I will be upgrading my Dyson sphere to have 75% efficiency. It'll take me several years to do so, but then I'll only need one more stage before I have a fully completed Dyson sphere. Come on. The end of the month lag. Now, who is in my system? Oh! They're jumping. What? They're jumping through my territory.
Who is?
One of the enemy fleets is proceeding to jump through my territory, specifically, on the way to enter orbit above, one of the enemy planets. Why is this guy not? Wait, Where's his fleet? His fleet is doing nothing. His fleet is literally just sitting in some backwater system doing absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, it looks like I have a chance of taking out 2/3 of their fleet power in one shot, or basically taking out the two of the three fleet major fleets that are jumping around at the moment. The only one being the Cyrilon Alliance, who I can't reach their I could reach their fleets. I don't think they can reach mine. Matt, did the Cerulean Alliance like close their borders to you or something?
No.
Or because they're not going anywhere. They're not moving. They're not trying to go anywhere, and that's usually because yeah, I don't know why they aren't going anywhere. Oh, they're also sending their Federation fleet. Maybe that's why, because it looks like the Cerulean Alliance has the Federation fleet at the moment, so that'd probably be why. There we go. Over. Creating a lot of cruisers. Beefing my fleet up even more, because why not? I mean, seriously, my fleet is just...
Bob.
Well, yeah, it's... Heck, I think it might even be bigger than than every other fleet power in the galaxy combined. Maybe excluding the two Fallen Empires. No, actually, yeah, excluding the main Fallen Empires, because the two Fallen Empires plus Diarmu's fleet power is about equal to mine. But yeah, it's like, it takes the three largest fleets in the galaxy to equal my fleet. That kind of says something right there, doesn't it? Just, I have 300 battleships, 250 corvettes, and I'm slowly building up how many cruisers I've got. There we go. The majority of the fleet power of this entire alliance is in one system. You realize what that means, right?
Lambs to the slaughter?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm jumping out of one of the systems and jumping back into another, specifically so that way I can jump in and start shooting at them. Not going to end well for them.
Incoming transmission.
Hello, someone wants stuff. Sure, I don't mind giving him wormhole access. I really don't. I mean, that will just increase. That might just increase how much trust I get per. Does it? Nope. Still haven't won that war math.
Not yet.
Construction complete.
Although I think that with this planet I might get it.
Construction
Alrighty.
complete. Construction complete.
I still make over 1,000 minerals even with my fleet out and about. My fleet has breached the 700k mark. And I now have engaged their. Let me see, which of their fleet? I've engaged all their fleets. I think. Nope, nope. I haven't engaged that one, but that one's not moving. I've engaged the one that belongs to the actual Awakened Empire. Now I've engaged all the fleets that were in this system. They have no chance of success. Considering that they're already losing, they're already taking way more damage than. Oh yeah, they're taking way more damage than they're dishing out, and we're only in the range of the extra large weapons at the moment. Or extra large and other large weaponry, because I think one of them's firing lasers.
Situation.
Yeah, there goes one of the Federation fleets that were in there. Seeing tachyon lasers and giga cannons launching across space. Fighters and bombers are going. I'm seeing the occasional matter disintegrator actually being fired now. Right, I forgot. I don't have my cruisers are the ones with the torpedoes, so since they're not in the front, I don't really have any torpedoes flying yet. I've lost several corvettes though, which is sad, but oh no, I just realized in my corvettes. Yeah, nope, never mind. Okay, I left him having a immediate psionic shield. Okay, we're good. Oh, my fleet hasn't actually breached 700k. It's only over 700k when it's in my own system. Oh man. Hey, are any of you guys watching my fleet battle that's going on? Because
no.
It's in the Shakon system. None of you guys want to go watch it.
Are you on the defense?
I'm on the offense.
Then why is this attack taking place in your territory?
It's not.
How do you pronounce it? How do you spell it?
Shuckon. This is right on the border of my territory.
Found it.
Oh, sorry, yes.
This is almost cruel, dude.
I've lost one battleship and almost 50 corvettes.
Those poor pilots.
Corvette captains never seem to make it very far. Ah, now I see some torpedoes launching. My cruisers have gotten in range.
Wait, that's not fair at all.
What?
So... Oh, got it.
What?
The thing was that the war score, like my target war score, was supposed to be 36%,
Oh,
and then I was at 35%, and then I conquer a planet, and now I'm at 36%, and the target is 40%.
what happened?
I don't know. But, like, I've won every battle according to the war log, you know?
Situation log updated.
But for some reason, my target went up from 36 to...
I lost 4 cruisers in that fight? And what was the battleship type I lost? I lost one of my Seraphim class, I think. Yep.
And you won.
Let's zoom out. Come on. Thank you. And I lost exactly 60 Corvettes. That said, one of the enemy fleets, possibly 2, retreated. Nope, only one actually retreated. The Ixodar Star Collective's main fleet retreated. I didn't ask to go in, I asked to fleet there. Okay, they are going there. It's just thinking I'm selecting it again. That's stupid, but makes more sense. Minerals, as usual, as I go through minerals like nobody's business. Wow. There we go. That was...
Situation log updated.
Sectors. Drain this one of most of its resources.
Situation log updated.
There we go. That should, oh. Wait, what? Oh. That's interesting. I caught up to their fleet entirely on accident in another system right next door to the one that I basically jumped a system to go after another planet, and I accidentally ended up jumping onto where their fleet had retreated to. I didn't even realize until after the fleet battle was over. I lost 1 Corvette in that entire fight and destroyed I destroyed the remainder of the 60k fleet I originally engaged.
Situation log updated.
And with that, the current strongest power...
Your original species was the Elfin, right?
Correct.
Diarmuid? Oh, you know what then? I'm gonna give them a new homeworld.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna colonize a planet with them.
Ah. Do I have some of his species in my empire? I do have Elfins in my empire. 10 of them.
Huh.
I could modify them.
So could I.
Oh, so they're not dead? They're not, like, dying out?
No.
No, he still got them. He just, remember, he had them conquered. They were conquered.
Situation log updated.
They were conquered by the bird people.
Situation log
Okay.
updated.
Okay, so I'm just now slowly making my way through the Awakened Empire's territory. Although it's been 3. How many years has it?
Situation log updated.
Yeah, I no longer have the bonus for killing off that one for killing off the Unbidden's portal. Badly enough, anyway. The Uri Covenant. Yeah. The strongest force in the galaxy. I'm taking. I could theorize. Yeah, it's one of those moments where it's like I'm taking on the I'm taking on the one Federation, and it has an awakened ascendancy, and I am walking all over them. One who's my closest match is still inferior to me. He's the only one that's not pathetic. Although apparently apparently the Diarmuid, your government thinks that my government is an embarrassment to my own race.
I don't know why I'd think that. I didn't tell him anything.
Yeah, whereas Matthew, your government just straight up hates me.
Well, I mean, my people were designed to be intelligent beings, so
Seem to forget that mine actually are intelligent as well. I seriously have the intelligent trait. Nifty little trait. Hey, the last great fleet of this alliance has shown up. All 37k of it. Although they've actually brought their
Construction complete.
oof. I might actually want to get over there because they've actually got a they've actually got armies with them as well. No, no, no.
Construction complete.
There you go. Time for them to die heroically. Yes, these brave fighters who came in to try and retake their allies' world. They will fight, and they will die honorably. But still, they will die. And I cannot claim credit.
Secure.
I cannot claim credit for that. That was a quote. If any of you did not know that. That was a quote from a video game.
it sounded quotey.
Yeah, it was a quote from StarCraft. Wait, where are they going? Oh no! One of my vassals is sending a tiny fleet in. The plus side, though, that that my vassal is now pulling away their fleet, including their transport ships, from this fight. End of the leg. Am I getting any closer? Like 2 years, I will be able to reach into the shroud again. And I'm still so ticked how that turned out. I think I finally stumbled across the event that lets you get psionic jump drives, and it failed on me.
Construction complete.
So, I have been waiting for years to get the chance to go after it again. Next spike. Go. I'm just making a lot of cruisers. I need more cruisers for my fleet. I already have over 50 cruisers added to my fleet. My fleet is actually getting close to being over 700k outside my own territory. Seeing waves of bombers go flying past. Glorious vision.
Hey, you no longer have a border with the Cerulean Alliance.
Me?
Yeah.
Construction complete.
Oh yeah, because you took several planets. Including more. You said you were only going after a couple, and now you have and then you went after several.
No, I said I was going after 3.
I asked you if you were going after that one, and you said yes, and then you went. So that is not one. That is 3.
Yeah. I went after the Saramore, and I went after the one in Salix and the one in Hades. But for some reason, I had to conquer like 3 planets in Landine so that I could get my war score high enough.
I actually have a positive opinion with the Havaragi systems again.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're scared of you guys.
They're scared of me?
They're scared of both the fact that they lost 2 wars to 2 very large powers gives a mutual threat bonus to other civilizations.
Huh.
Come on. I told you to land. There we go. let's get moving. We have more territory to conquer. After all, getting rid of this awakened empire will be a great moment. They hate my guts, and awakened empires are probably can be one of the biggest threats if left alone, because they get all sorts of bonuses. Thank you for action.
Construction complete.
Let's increase the attack speed. Strike attack speed.
Construction complete. Construction complete. Construction complete.
Fleet 100. Oh. Oh, I see what's going on. My vassal has a fleet attacking the one planet that's surrounded by math. One planet that Mathjas has surrounded is being attacked by my vassal, and the rest of his fleets are wanting to go after it, but they can't because they're not. I don't think they're able to go through your territory, Math, because they haven't been able to go through your territory. Or either that, or they're just bugging. It's either that, or they're just bugging out.
Well, I think that they still have wormhole. Wait. I don't know.
Oh no, it's kind of funny. I have several. By the time this war will be over, I'll have several cyborgs in my empire. If I don't already. Let's go to my species. Wait, was one of these guys uplift? There was a species that was uplifted. And I did not uplift them. Who the heck uplifted them? Or did they not actually? Were they not actually uplifted and it's just a bug? Whatever.
Depends. Where are they?
No, it was the Rayub. They were one of the guys I took out early on. Yeah, so there were Meta Beldros. The various Beldros, the Beldros started going cybernetic back before they got wiped. And, so the Beldros have actually, there are some Beldros in the galaxy that have have cybernetics on them. Wow, there we go. Every time I select my fleet, I get huge lag. I start getting big lag spikes. I'm actually having trouble selecting my own fleet. It's just that big. It is ridiculous. Like, if I kept building this, if I keep building my fleet up, I won't be surprised if it breaches 1,000,000 fleet power. Basically, if we had not taken out the Unbidden last episode, I could probably have taken them out by myself at this point. Especially considering that I wouldn't have lost like a good several 100,000 fleet power, which would have meant that if I'd kept my previous fleet power, then this would mean that I would probably be actually almost at 1,000,000 myself.
Situation log updated.
58 months till I have Ascension Theory.
How many months?
58.
Not bad.
Can't hear you.
I am almost to the point where I'll be able to surround the Cerulean Alliance.
Yeah, you'll just need to go through a fallen empire to do so.
No. Notice my borders connect around the backside of the Fallen Empire.
Almost. Not quite.
It's just not quite shown, you know?
No, I'm hovering over it. It ends at a certain point, and it ends your territory ends at some point in the middle. At some point I can go right through there. So yeah, you have not actually surrounded it.
Oh well.
You're killing his hopes and dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
How rude.
Research complete.
Now let's be honest here. Out of the two of you, Math actually probably has the greatest potential. If he catches up technology-wise, he can build a fleet that he's more likely to be able to build a fleet as big as mine. Because the problem is that he has almost as many worlds as I do. We're going back and forth between who has the most worlds, whereas you have over 100 fewer worlds than us, so you only have so much you can grow. And while you can grow through conquest, so could we.
Yeah. The problem is that my planets were mostly uninhabited because of my expansion technique.
Undeveloped, not uninhabited.
Both. Like, when you looked at the number of tiles I had versus the number of pops, I was like at like 40% of my tiles actually being inhabited.
Really? Where was...
This was like an episode or two ago. But then I started working on food production, and
yeah, that
so let me check how many pops I have now.
You have over 2,000.
Yeah, I had 1,000 at the beginning of this episode.
I call bullcrap on that. No, you have about 1,000 Mengetti. You have over 2,000 total. You have gone up about 100 since I last checked. But you did not double your population over the course of this episode. I can't figure out how you can see your total population on one screen. The closest thing I can see, closest thing I've been able to see, has been you might be able to see how many pops you have in sectors and how many you have on individual planets that aren't in those sectors. Like I have a sector that has over 1,000 pops in it.
Log updated.
Whereas the demographic screen, say I only have like 500 of my own primary species. I have another sector that has over 800 pops. Actually, I have to have over 3,000 pops, or close to it, because I have a sector that's 1,000 and 2 of them that are over 800. And then I have the 5 Ringworld segments, which is 125, plus a couple size 20 Gaia worlds, or at least one size 20 Gaia world. No, two size 20 Gaia worlds. So yeah, I'm close to 3,000 pops. Like if you open up the diplomacy screen, you can see how many pops is in an empire. Like Diermood has about 1,000 pops overall.
In the diplomacy tab?
If you open up the diplomacy screen with an empire, it will tell you how many pops there are in the bottom left. Matchaz, you have like 2,163.
Construction complete.
You have 2,989.
So I am less than a dozen pops away from having 3,000 people.
Construction complete.
That's not including my vassals though either. Which I may have a couple small vassals, but I have one that has.
Construction complete.
Oh shoot! They're actually invading a world I conquered. Oops. I will have to go back to that.
Planet lost to invasion.
Oh, he's using clone armies. This guy has a lot of clone armies.
It's a good thing that you're not playing as the Jedi then.
Don't you mean the separatists?
Well, either, but I mean the clones wiped out the Jedi.
True. I should actually work on building some more troops. I have not actually increased my armies at all in a while.
Well, considering that the galaxy is currently at peace, I think this might be a good time.
At peace? I'm in the middle of a war.
Oh,
You don't
that's
count.
still going on?
Yes.
Huh.
How did you miss the fact that I'm still in a war here? When I just said, oh, he retook one of the planets I had conquered. I literally made mention of the war in the last like minute.
Oh. Well, I mean, the war doesn't affect me, so...
So, of course, then, if it doesn't affect you, it's not actually a thing that needs to be dealt with at all.
Well, of course.
This guy's actually starting to rebuild his fleets. I want to finish conquering it.
Wait for
Go. Bring in the planet. And another planet has been taken for the Uri Covenant.
Planet secure.
Oh boy. Anyway. Whoa, do these guys actually have 0 happiness? These guys actually have 0 happiness. This particular, my supremacist faction actually has 0 happiness. My xenophobe only having 12% happiness, and my materialist having 34% happiness. Well, or is that no, that's my pacifist. That's my pacifist one. Wait, why did it say 34 on one end, but then, yeah, is it funny that my materialists are actually incredibly happy? The materialists in my empire are actually incredibly happy with me. It's actually quite entertaining. In this massive spiritualist empire, the materialists are happy. They're a little disappointed that they don't have robots, but otherwise they're happy.
A little disappointed we don't have robots.
That's basically it. That's basically their only major complaint. Is that, is no robots. That's it. Oh. Fudge. I know what's going on. Okay, I need to turn them... The tick rules. Give them psychic robots. It'll be fine. I wish I could. I wish I could. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
But, unfortunately, I don't... Given the way the Stellaris devs have talked about this, it is very doubtful that they will actually, do so.
I know, but, again, it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I swapped you to standard, right?
Well, I'm happy. 2 of my habitats are done building completely, and that includes the pops in them. The 3rd one will be done soon, and I mean next episode. And my other 2 have all the buildings queued up, and all I have to do is wait for them to finish building up the pops in them.
I'm getting very annoyed with with trying to mess with my fleet settings, because I'm trying to set my fleet stance to standard at the moment, but it's not switching off of evasive for some reason.
Odd.
So the tick rules mentioned. I guess hive mind robots are kind of psychic. Kind of not really. It'd be awesome if, I mean, on some level it would make, on some level it sounds like it, but the unfortunate.
In some ways, it may be possible to, and I'm talking about from a sci-fi point of view, not a reality point of view, to maybe create a technology that might be able to reach into the beyond and gain some semblance of psionics. Maybe not actual psionics, but something close.
Yeah.
But, so like how you're reaching beyond, how you keep on reaching beyond the veil, maybe some sort of tech that robots can use to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, and as for the tick rules, yes. Last week they their dev diary from last week was them talking about the new machine empires, and these machine empires were specifically basically hive-minded empires.
Well, how close are you to finishing your war?
Not close enough. I just want to reach into the shroud one more time, and then
How long will that take?
Once the game unfreezes, I'll actually be doing it.
Oh.
Enemy planet secure.
No, I did not try to contact that guy. I tried to reach into the shroud. To the shroud. Oh boy, summoning a psionic avatar.
Ooh.
And it failed, of course.
Well, they can't make it easy for you.
Well, I mean, the problem is when it's like, oh, green means you're very likely to succeed, and then... Nope, sorry. mean, seriously, it's ridiculous when it says there's a high probability of this working, and then every
It
time
doesn't work.
yeah. Well, the thing is, I've had this happen a couple times, and this sort of event and summoning some sort of psionic being or whatever has never worked. The closest one that did was the one time I summoned that psionic. I think it was a psionic avatar, and I managed to summon it, but not under my control. That I think is the closest I have ever come to actually succeeding in that particular endeavor.
Complete.
Mm,
So yeah. Anyway, I'm good for the video to stop anytime, or
Yeah,
us
same.
to stop the stream. Math.
Okay.
You're the-
And I have.
Yeah, you're the one in charge. You're the lead in this stream.
Yeah. I know. I got into the middle of something else, and now I'm done. Okay, so, I guess we didn't wipe out any of the fallen empires, which is unfortunate, but
I was in the middle of wiping out the Awakened Empire. So did you pause
we did
it?
have. Oh, let's pause it now. There we go. But we did, on the other hand, have some wars that went in our favor, and I have tons of planets that will be done terraforming at the beginning of next episode, so that's wonderful. I'll go from having however many planets I have to like 15 more than that. But anyway, so I hope that all of you enjoyed watching this episode, and I hope that we can, in the next episode,
beat the crap out of somebody.
I hope that in the next episode that Swarmlord's War goes well against the Awakened Empire. So you should come and watch that next week, because it should go well, and if it doesn't, then that might even be more interesting.
You're talking about the largest military in the galaxy losing to some who are smaller than yours.
Yeah, but I mean, like, sometimes strange things happen.
True.
And I don't wish for them, but if it did happen, it would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, everyone in YouTube land, see you next week. Bye!
See ya.
Later.